Shore Break Sounds.
Welcome to Over the Falls podcast, episode number 57. This week, we're joined by Welsh football legend Tomi Morgan to talk about his career as a player and manager, the highs, the lows, and a lifetime in the game. This episode is sponsored by Walters Detailing, mobile car valeting and detailing, covering the Ceredigion area, specialising in machine polishing, ceramic coatings, and thorough detail valets. Search for Walters Detailing on Instagram or Facebook. So, let's start at the beginning then, Tom. What got you into football and how old were you?
How old was I? Probably was about 9 or 10 years of age, I think, or 10 really, when we changed headmaster in the school in Bronant. Yeah. The new headmaster came in, Miss Howells. She'd been there for a few decades. Really very respected lady, and David Rusted Hughes came in as headmaster, and he sort of used into football a bit, and then I knew a few lads in the village who were into football as well, so that sort of spurred me on and started.
It's quite late, isn't it, considering now kids get into it as 3 or 4 these days, but that's quite late, isn't it, really, considering how far you've got?
Yeah, but possibly. Yeah, it was really late, really. Yeah. We used to play a bit, muck about in a yard with the ball now and then. But he introduced, not coaching as such, but he liked football, and it went from there then. And then I think Brian Lloyd, he was a bit of he did quite a bit with the kids in the village and stuff. And then he started off, I think, Carmarthen Tigers in Tregaron and stuff. So it just materialised from there then, really.
And into secondary school.
Yeah,
you were playing for the school team and things, was it?
No football in Tregaron secondary school,
Wasn't
my friend.
No. Really?
No.
I'm surprised about. Well, all rugby, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
surely there was rugby then.
Yeah.
So did you have to play rugby then?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy rugby?
I was a scrum half. Yeah.
Were you?
Yeah.
Oh.
I was quite tricky, but I wasn't very big. I was tiny. I'll tell you a good story. The used to have to play rugby in the morning, and then I'd be playing for the Turfs in the afternoon, and you don't get injured. And we played Cardigan this one time, and this lad was Eddie Phillips, his name was. He must have been about 6'7". I was playing full-back that day. So he comes out of the scrum, picks the ball up, pushes out the scrum out the way, and runs straight towards me. I'm thinking, please, just go left or right. And he goes straight towards me. I just stepped out the way, And before half-time, and Gwynfor Jones, he had the Bobby Charlton haircut with a piece of going across like that.
Nice.
He grabbed my ear, gave me a couple of clouts, and said to me, "I know you're playing football this afternoon, but you want to try and tackle." I said, "I can't tackle people like that. They're just massive." So so we had to play rugby in the morning because but then obviously back to football in the afternoon. Yeah.
So who did you play for? So if you couldn't really play in the, did you say the Tregaron secondary school? So who was the first team that you sort of played for around that time?
Yeah, Carmarthen Tigers.
Carmarthen Tigers.
Yeah.
Got you. And what sort of area is that? Is that?
No, we used to play in Aberystwyth Junior League.
Got you. It's the Junior League. Okay.
Yeah, but I think that the Junior League only hadn't long started then. Okay. Probably didn't have a Junior League, didn't call it Junior League. Just, but we came up there. The first game I played for Tregaron against Apollo, I think it was, we lost 17-2.
Not too bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's hammering.
And the next time we lost 16-0. Yeah. So, you could have thought, well, that's it, tonight football is not for me.
Yeah.
You just have to persevere, don't you? And, some of the lads that played for those teams, obviously then I went on and played with those lads for Abbey Youth and stuff, like Ken Wills, Jeff Evans, a number of lads, so it was quite interesting.
So even though you were losing these games, did you personally have a bit of an instinct for scoring goals? Did you always have that sort of natural ability?
Probably I did, yes, yeah. You have to have a knack to scoring goals, or being in the right place at the right time, or being very lucky, like a lot of people tell you.
But
you can't be lucky 500-600 times when you in your football career, inverted commas. But I just obviously I used to follow football and with the Camera News, because obviously you're living in the village. We didn't get out the village much, really, to be honest. I don't think my parents didn't have a car or anything, so we had to rely on other people for lifts. I followed Aberystwyth. I went to watch them in the final in 1970 or something like that, when they won the Amateur Cup up in Llanidloes. And then one of my sisters, she went into teaching. So she knew like a couple of like Will Lloyd and Diaz, they ended up being headmasters and stuff. So I got sort of friendly with them. And when I went to Aber when I was 16, 17, they sort of put me under their wings.
Okay. Yeah. So it was 16 or 17 when you started playing for the senior team or the youth team?
No, the youth team to start with.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but I think I played for Aber when I scored 6 for the youth team again, or 7 goals for the youth team up in Preston, and then on the Saturday I got pulled into the first team, and we played Donington Wood in the Welsh Intermediate Cup or whatever it was. And the first thing the fullback said to me, if you go past me today, I'm going to break your something leg.
No way.
Yeah.
Intimidation straight away.
Yeah.
Is that because of how old you were at the time? You
probably 16. You probably read, they're bringing this, youngster who scored a few goals. So it was like,
he was trying to put you in your place, wasn't he?
Welcome to the real football.
Yeah. Did that go on a lot in those days? Or does it still go on?
Still goes on now, yeah. I'm
guessing the reffing was a little bit more slack back in the day.
Yeah, he probably could swear a bit. Not swear, but, there's always been good refs and bad refs in it.
Well, yeah, of course.
But if you lose, the ref was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess I meant more like I could imagine old school refs letting more things go compared to the modern game is what I'm saying. I'm talking about like fouling now. Did the refs let a little bit more go back in the day?
Oh, I mean, it's a different game completely now.
Yeah.
You can't kick anybody now anymore.
Exactly.
No.
Tackling from behind was rife.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd say, well, they'd say to the opposition, probably say, put that Tom Morgan over the fence first tackle. That was a standard line.
Yeah.
And if you're playing local football, which I did, like for Tregaron, and I remember my first game for Dewi Stars, there's a couple of lads from Bronant, Dai Gernant and John number 5. I used to sort of hang around by the shop, and then I get a lift with them to watch Dewi Stars play. So went to Aberystwyth one Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon, and they only had 10, and I bought my boots, and I was like 13, and I played against a Penryn Coch. So but like we had a man called Gordon Winstanley, which a lot of people would know, and he was about 6'5" and a monster of a guy, like and if you kick him, I'll sort you out, kind of thing. So
okay.
people were quite frightened of him. or he's well respected.
Yeah, exactly. Stay away from him. Like.
Anyway, how early on did you sort of realise that maybe you were potentially better than some of the people that you were playing with? Because obviously I'm guessing some people, including me and Dave, we sort of played a little bit when we were younger, but then obviously we never progressed to like the next stage. So, how early on did you sort of know? What was it when they put you in the adult team?
No, I didn't think, to be honest with you, it took me a while to really get going, because it was quite a tough induction. Obviously, Arthur West, he got me playing for the Aber youth team. Yeah. And to be fair to Arthur, he'd got a lot of lads from the countries, from outside Aber to play for the youth team. So I was one of them. So that was obviously, that was a good initiation. And then you play in I played for a bit for Llanilla. I thought, obviously I knew I had an eye for goal, but getting a chance to get into Aber's first team was quite difficult then, because they were quite reasonably successful. Like I said, Di Whitney, George Williams, Diaz said, Gwyn Thomas is still there, Blair and Pew Jones are still playing. So it was great for me, being 16, 17, being training and stuff with them. It was brilliant. When you look back, it was brilliant times.
I bet. How were they with you as well, the youngster coming through?
Yeah, they were fine, because I think obviously, at every age, you always see, players coming through, and they probably look and say, well, you've got a chance, or you don't have a chance, So, one season I sat on a bench for Aber, I think about 25 times.
Okay.
And then I think I sort of got a regular game when I was about 20, 21.
Oh, okay.
So it was quite a tough induction, like.
Yeah, I bet it was. You had to be patient, I guess, didn't you?
Yeah.
Wait for your chance, sort of thing.
Did you get on with the manager at that time? So from like when you were 18 up to say 21, so obviously you said you're on the bench a little bit and stuff. Did you get on with the manager at that time?
Yeah, I think, back in those days, I think you just respected people. I think that word's been lost.
Respect your elders, yeah.
I lost a little bit now, where, social media's come into it. There's no social media then. You wouldn't, you'd sort of back yourself sometimes, but more or less coming from the country, I wouldn't sort of question those people, like. No. Ron Cullum, to be fair, he did the money minds in Aberystwyth. He was a good manager. Did a brilliant job with athletics in Aberystwyth area. So yeah, he was, and his boy Andrew, he used to play as well in the mini minors. Andrew's a good player as well.
Good. How long did you play for Aberystwyth, all in all? Like, so from that age, youngish age.
Well, I played. I played for about. Till I was about. What happened was, we played one Saturday up in Berrio, and it was tipping down with rain, and there was this journalist there whose name was Graham Breeze, and he wrote in the County Times that we won, I think, 7 or 8-0. Deer scored 6, I remember, but I had a decent game. I was playing on the wing there more, or a striker, and he put in, like, mesmerised by Tom Morgan on the wing, like. Okay. I thought, this guy must know what he's talking about. Look at that. So I didn't know him from Adam, right? And then, but say 3 or 4 years later, he signed me for Newtown, and we've been friends ever since. So we've been friends with him for 40, 50 years.
No way.
So just from him writing maybe that, 1 or 2 lines, and he knows what he's talking about. And then Newtown chased me for a bit, because I'm not sure if it was regular perhaps, but it's like anything, people, scouts or not, they're not a scout him, they say, I fancy him. So I think Derek Humphreys, who was manager of Newtown, he came after me one summer, offered me quite a bit of money then, actually.
Was it?
I didn't go, and then I think a year or so later, I had a bit of a, saying you asked me earlier about having a bust up with the manager. I didn't have a bust up. Me and Happy never got on. He made me captain of Aber, and I was too young for it, really. And then one Thursday night in training, I was taking corners and I was dying for a pee, and I turned in the hedge and took a pee. And he didn't like that, so we had a bit of a row about that. And then Newtown came in for me again then, and I decided to go there. And I was about 23, 24 maybe. So I went there. And it's the best thing I ever did, to be honest, because a lot of people I think, haven't been over the mountain. You can't go any other way, can you? You can't swim.
No.
So I went over the mountain to Newtown, and yeah, it opened my eyes to lots of things. I met a lot of different people, different environment, and then I was starstruck by Derek Price and Brian Davis, who used to play for Newtown. Derek Price is centre half, and Dave Scollin, he was a centre forward. He'd been in Wrexham as a kid. He's a hell of a good centre forward. And the first game, half time, they came in, and I just couldn't believe it. They had a fag each.
No way.
I was like, wow. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, you see. And then, if you went there now, it's different. There was the dressing rooms were so tiny in Newtown. Uh-huh. And it was only, you could hear what the other manager was saying half the time, because there's a partitioning in the showers. And it was like, I thought, wow. But they were, both, really, two of the best players I played with ever.
So you learned a lot from them? Yeah.
I think when you go away, you have to learn about everything, really. You come across people. Well, I've come across lots of people from other facets of life who support football and sponsor and stuff. And yeah, it was a great learning curve for me. Yeah.
And then you played for Welsh as well, didn't you? Played for Welsh?
No, I didn't play for them. I came back. what happened was I had 2 seasons at Newtown, 2 really good seasons. We won the League Cup, bit of stuff like that. And then obviously, I think, was it Fiona? No, Catherine came along then.
Yeah.
So it was like, right, I've got to come back. So I came back to Aber. And then we had a really golden time at Aber then. You know, Happy was manager. I think we won lots of trophies.
Amazing.
Over the next, like 5-6 years.
You were starting, scoring in a good place.
Yeah, well, I mean, I ended up, once the season I was at Newtown, I think I got 54 goals for them.
In one season?
Yeah.
Good going, that.
Not bad, is it?
Not bad at all.
No, yeah, it's probably one of my best seasons. Yeah. But the thing is, I learned there was how to handle the chairman. Can't remember his name now, right? But he was the head of the Mid Wales Development Board.
Okay.
Steve Hughes, right? So I decided I was leaving Newtown just the start of the season. And he comes up to me and he says, right, you're welcome in Newtown anytime. Thanks for what you've done for me. And that's it. And that's handling, you know what I mean? I thought that was really important because I still go to Newtown. I've been there.
That's good.
It's nice not to burn the bridges as well, isn't it? When you go to different places, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you can keep it amicable, and like
I had a really not excuse. I didn't want to, I had the reasons for leaving, and they accepted that.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was really good. And obviously, Graham, when you've been a successful team for 2 seasons and you leave, it's not easy then, is it? But people think. But we kept our friendship, and
that's good.
Yeah.
Did you get nervous before games?
Yeah, probably did a bit.
Yeah.
But
just got on with it.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, I think we were fairly fortunate. We played lots of finals and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
For that, Mid Wales League Cup, Central Wales Cup, and stuff like that. So really, just get more nervous for the bigger games.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Any rituals, pre-game rituals, or lucky pants or anything like that?
Never lucky pants, but I always just try and get out one before last. Don't know where.
What onto the pitch?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
One before
So
last.
there is a little bit of it.
That's
And then I used to always put a hop onto the line before I'd go on the pitch.
No way.
It's mad, the amount of people like sportsmen, rugby, football, runners, whatever, and they sort of like, maybe they do something and they're thinking, that went pretty well, that game.
Yeah.
I'll do that again. And then they can't not do it.
Stick to it.
Didn't you play for Telford at one stage? Did you play for Telford?
Yeah. Well, that's another... so, like, Diaz was my best man in my wedding, and we were really best friends.
Yeah.
So, I was out in his house in the summer. I think I was about 29 then, out in his house in Llanfraid, and we were sitting there. He said, you've got to give it a go now. So there's no choices really to get to better teams, because we were so far. Aberystwyth is
pretty isolated, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So anyway, we phoned up Kidderminster. I don't think we got a reply there. And then we phoned up Telford. So Telford said, turn up for training Tuesday night. I think it was 6:30 at the Buck's Head. So that was their ground.
Yeah.
So somebody's going to meet me there. Lenny Lloyd, his name was. So I got there at 6:30, and he said, follow me. So, and I'm not really that familiar, but I've never seen so many roundabouts. It's like around the Telford area.
Yeah.
And we got to the training place we were training, and he goes to me, you must be a rep, he goes to me.
Oh, right.
Because I had a rep, I was repping at the time.
Yeah.
And it was such a weavy road. It was, around the other roundabouts, etc. And he was a bit of a character as well. So anyway, I walked in the dressing room there for training, and they were like, somebody said hello to me, and, they spotted the Welsh lingo.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh my God, right, so they were giving me a bit of stick, like. And anyway, I played for Wales at semi-pro level, and I played against England a few times. And this one lad, Anton Joseph, he was playing for Telford, and he goes to look at the lads who are giving me more stick than anybody else. He goes, shut the F up, he said to him. He can play.
It's nice of him
That's
sticking
awesome.
up for you, you know.
That was it.
That was
Yep.
brilliant.
That was brilliant.
Killed it off.
Yeah, just cut it
Brilliant.
off. And then obviously I went out training, and that's probably the toughest 2 hours of my life.
How much of a step up was it from where you were then? Like a big jump, was it?
Oh, massive.
Night and day, I bet.
It was. I mean, the season before they played Everton in the 6th round of the FA Cup and lost. I think they got about on that. Then they got, I think they said £300 or £400 a piece. So that's 30 years ago now.
Yeah.
You know, or more. So yeah, it was a big jump.
What division were they in at that time?
They were one below the conference.
Okay.
Is this like early-ish 80s, I'm guessing, is it? When you first went to Telford?
So I'd be 50, 60, 70. Yeah. I was 30, so.
Yeah, around then.
Yeah, I was 29, 30, so I was 30 in September, I think.
How long were you with them, Tom? Telford?
Yeah, it was fine. It's completely different. It was like, you know, it was basically like being a pro.
Was it?
And I don't think he just, actually, I don't think he just signed me because we played Wrexham in a friendly. And I played against Wrexham a few times because he used to come down to Aberystwyth train. So I knew Dixie McNeil, the manager. So after the game, I went to talk to him. And he said, so then you could sign for clubs in Wales and England, okay?
Oh, right.
So he goes to me, well, they had big problems at the time, Wrexham, financial problems. So I didn't have a particularly good team and stuff. And so he goes to me, do you sign on? So I signed for Wrexham in the pub.
Did you?
And so I went back to talk to Stan Staunton, who was the manager. And he goes, who are you talking to him for? I said, they want to sign me, like. I said, and I don't think he'd have signed me. I don't think if I hadn't said that they'd sign me, if I'd be honest.
Ah, right. I see what you mean now. Is in Telford.
Because he was manager of Telford, and so you obviously see me, talking to Wrexham, who's in the third division there.
Yeah.
So I thought, right. So anyway, he offered me X amount of pounds, or whatever. Then, and I signed. So yeah, but I found it really tough, to be honest, and it was quite a good grounding for me being manager.
Oh, okay.
To learn, because obviously I was like 30-ish, and it was. I only lasted till February there.
In Telford.
In Telford, yeah. Because you're talking about, I used to go up twice a week training, so it's 90 miles from my house to the Buck's Head or to the training ground, and then on a Saturday we'd go Friday nights to some games. I went down to Weymouth, left on Friday night about 6 o'clock, stayed in somewhere overnight, and I wasn't even in the squad on Saturday.
You weren't even in the squad?
I wasn't even sub.
Oh. They've told you that before, but you've got to be there, haven't you?
You're there, you're getting paid.
It's miles away, Weymouth is.
Yeah.
It's the other side, isn't it? It's like complete East Coast.
Yeah. It was really funny because, you get to know, like the bus driver, say to the bus driver, what time are you going back tonight? He's put it like this, mate. He goes, I got a bird in Brum at 10 and I'm going to be there.
Foot down.
I was like, I don't think there was any, rules about, buses couldn't go quick. The bat bus could go quick. Like he was there.
So you're saying it grounded you as for management in Telford. So what did you learn in Telford that made you a good manager, would you say?
I was made me a good manager, but you got to be ruthless.
Okay.
If you're going to be a manager, you've got to be a proper, not a nice person, not be a nice person, but you've got to be tough. You've got to make tough decisions. You've got to leave people out. How you handle them. There's so many facets to. You've got to deal with chairman, committee members, later on directors, all that kind of stuff. So it was a good grounding for learning how to handle yourself, etc. So. Yeah, it was, for instance, we played first round of the FA Cup, we played Burnley at home, we beat them 3-0. I was man of the match. So I was in the team and we were playing, we played Altrincham in the second round. It's like 4,500 people in the ground. And then you got pulled at 12, so I knew as soon as you get pulled, you're on the bench. And he goes to me, I got Colin Williams in the side today, and he was a England semi-pro international. And I go to him, he's got a great record in the FA Cup. He goes to me, I said, I have as well. I said, I scored 1 in 1. Yeah, he's still sub, mate.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but, and Colin Williams actually scored the winner.
Oh, really?
He lobbed the keeper. Yeah, so, yeah.
Did you play, sorry to interrupt, did you play Leeds in West Brom?
Yeah. We played Leeds in the third round then.
Third round, so it was one after that round.
Yeah.
Did you come on as a sub?
Yeah. And I missed a sitter.
Oh, did you?
You know who told me this information? Shout out to Colin Bitchell in the hospital.
Oh, yeah.
He told me, he goes, see if Tommy remembers. And he told me, he said, playing for Telford, played in West Brom, because I think the ground was too small, so you had to play in West Brom, I think he said.
No, what had happened is Leeds fans, they wouldn't let them play at the Bucks Head in Telford.
Why
because
not?
Leeds had some wild fans then.
Oh, yeah. That's why they played in West Brom.
So we played at West Brom, and the game the game had to go ahead. It was snow on the ground. It shouldn't have been played, really.
As soon as Colin told me the story, I googled it and I saw the snow. It looked horrendous.
Yeah, it was.
It looked horrendous.
But it was like, sometimes you have to pinch yourself. I'm sitting in a dugout, and I had a bit of a liking for Leeds when they're in the 70s, when they were a really good side, which I could name the side now, but I'm not going to. And Billy Bremner was sitting 2 seats away from me. And I idolised Billy Bremner because he was a tough nut when he was really good, compared to him and Giles and
Leeds. They're always like a tough side, weren't they?
Yeah.
Always.
Even afterwards, I remember working for Radio Cymru and sitting next to Norman Hunter in Goodison Park. And you're thinking, you're sitting next to Norman Hunter, who was a bit of a beast, wasn't he? Great player.
Yeah.
But he was massive, massive. I've never seen bigger thighs in my life. I think he was in my seat most of the time. But
you're not going to ask him to move.
Yeah. So it was, I mean, back to that Leeds game, I came on, McKenna went round the full back, crossed it, and I half volleyed it, and he just went about a few inches over Mervyn Day's crossbar, so
No way.
Costing £100. We were on £100 for a draw there.
Oh, really?
Okay, yeah.
There's stakes in it, isn't there?
Yeah.
I bet it's pretty amazing though to play Leeds in the FA Cup and at West Brom. I bet it's a pretty cool experience,
Oh yeah, brilliant. The thing is, we played. To be fair, preparation was always good. We played West Brom in the friendly on the week before, on a Tuesday before,
on the same ground.
Yeah, but obviously there was no snow on it.
Yeah. A little bit better.
Yeah. Actually, I played quite well. I didn't start the game, but I remember Carlton Palmer was playing, and they had a few stars playing.
Carlton Palmer.
Yeah.
Those are the years. It was like the 90s, wasn't it?
I was thinking about Leeds, and I was just thinking, when did Cantona go to Leeds?
Oh yeah,
a bit later,
he
played in Leeds. He played for Leeds before he went to Man U, I think, didn't he?
Yeah,
he did. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, hell of a player.
Yeah. Was that so? Play for Telford. Were those like your highlights, or can we talk about Llansantffraid?
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, obviously Llansantffraid was. Going back to, I managed Aberystwyth then at 30 odd, happy finished.
Myron Appleton.
He quit, and I'd done my knee and I'd had the cartilage out, and I thought, right, maybe my time is limited here, and so I said to Deg Dawson, look, I could be manager or player manager, and he got in through the committee and I got the job, but. Yeah, that was tough as well, because from being one of the lads to telling the lads they're not playing and stuff, that was tough transition.
Yeah, but it was.
Really difficult. So you just, I think one thing you learn, you don't know when you might need somebody. And when I was younger, I made a lot of mistakes, and you learn from your mistakes. I did loads. I handled things wrong sometimes. I said the wrong things, and it's you only learn from your mistakes.
Of course you do.
And I did. Yeah. I did plenty of them. I think I learned quite a bit over those years.
It sounds extra tough to me trying to be a player manager, because at least if you're a manager, there's quite a clear line there, sort of thing, and everyone understands that you need to make some really difficult decisions. But to be playing alongside the people that maybe you're leaving out, I mean, that sounds really tough, to be a player manager.
Yeah, but actually, when I look back, I should have played more, because I played less in those 5 years when I was player manager at Aber. I played less than I should because I was probably as good a striker as anybody. And when I went to Llansantffraid, I think I scored, 70, 80 goals in 2 seasons for them. We won the Welsh Cup. And it was like, it's sort of, but I guess, that was then, and this, you learn from mistakes and you just move forward. There's no point, when I got sacked, at Aber, it was like a Monday night, and Derek phoned me up and said, right, fine, be a meeting, etc. You're out of a job, like, fine, okay. Well, so I'd still been friends with Graham, so he phones me up and he goes, because obviously news that travel quite fast then.
Yeah, I can imagine.
He phoned me up and said, "Oh, do you want to play for Llansantffraid?" Because he knew Ian Clark was manager of Llansantffraid at the time. So anyway, they phoned me up and I said, "Yeah, fine." I got straight in their team.
Nice.
I think we lost 3-2 first game, but it was such a different club because it's just a village club basically. And the people were absolutely brilliant, like, do you know what I mean? It took me in straight away, and it was like, and I just love proving people wrong, right? So when I left Aber, they said that'll be the end of Thomas, Tommy, whatever you want to call me. That'll be the end, or even worse things. That'll be the end of him. Like, you won't see hear of him again. Like, so because that's. And probably Llansantffraid is a village club, but you just know your football, do you? So the first season I was there, they signed quite a few students, so young lads like that, and they were some decent, the Whelan brothers, and there's Gary Curtis. We had they had a good side. We had a good side, and so the first season we beat Tom Pentry in the League Cup final, and then obviously the second season, then we had a run in the Welsh Cup. And we won that.
That's a hell of a thing, isn't it?
It was absolutely... It was insane, the amount of publicity that generated.
What was it about that team then, at that time, that went all the way and beat Barry in the final?
You wouldn't believe the things I'm going to tell you now. For instance, it was just... I don't know. It's really difficult to put into context, of football context, because it's not... It doesn't weave into the perfect, everybody's training, everybody's doing this, that. So for instance, in the cup run, in the quarter-final, we played Pontypridd away. I think we only had one sub. The kick-off was lunchtime, or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah. So, we scraped it, right? We scraped the quarter-final, 2-1. I got 2 flukiest goals I've ever scored. And we 1-1. We went back to Bilth, had a pint in Bilth, and the draw was on for the semi-final. Yeah. And then the draw comes out, we were playing into Cardiff in the semi-final. So we avoided Barry in it, because Barry are obviously 100% favourites to win it. But we had some really good, Gary Evans and his brother Ian, we had some really, Gary Curtis is a really good player. We had, and then just before the end of the season, we signed Neil O'Brien, because we knew the centre-half couldn't play in the final. So Neil O'Brien, I'd managed at Aber, he signed for us. So, there's so many things to remember here. So the semi-final, I got a lift down, because it was an international game that day. So I'd lift it down to Cardiff, walked to the Leckwith Stadium. We turned up half an hour before kick-off. They'd brought in a couple of outsiders from Newport County to strengthen their team. And we were just a rugged, we were a good side, but we had, lads who could look after themselves, tough. They'd stick it in when the going's tough. And, they were a good side. And we won 1-0. I mean, Johnny Whelan scored. Yeah, so the second leg was a week after up in Llansantffraid. And so the following Saturday, we were losing 1-0 half time. At home, yeah. So Gary Evans, he was like, Evans was a brilliant player. He used to sit next to me in dressing room. He goes to me, "Don't Tom, we'll win this second half now," I said. So we went out, second half, we won 3-1. He just up there. He went on. He stayed with Llansantffraid and won the league a few years after with him and stuff. You know, he was a class player. Yeah. So and his brother Ian, but he just had a good team spirit. And then obviously you get to the final, and it was massive news at the time. You know, so yeah, it was.
What was going through your head sort of that morning of the final? Do you remember? How you were feeling?
Well, we were just all looking forward to it. It was just. I don't think it was a big game for us.
It wasn't a big game because you were at the underdogs.
Yeah,
nothing to lose.
No, yeah, and I think the mentality we had was we were nervous. Like we had, I wouldn't say confident boys, but you're thinking, well, it's a game in it, and we played Barry a few times, and we give them a good run for the money.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so we just thought, we've got nothing to lose, have we?
No.
And strange how little things happened. They'd won the cup at the National Stadium the year before. So our bus arrives a minute before their bus. So off we go, off the bus, into the dressing rooms. Dressing rooms, a big sign, Llansantffraid to the left, Barry to the right. Next thing, Gilo comes in and goes, it's our dressing room. So Graham was was a journalist, Graham, right? And he is good with words. He said, a big sign, Llansantffraid, saying in here.
Yeah.
Oh, come on now. So, why don't you go back to your dressing room, like?
Yeah.
A little bit of mind games already.
Yeah, it was just. And then obviously the game was, it was end-to-end stuff. It was 3-3, bloody blah. It went to penalties.
Yeah.
And Andy Mulliner, I think he works for Man City now, and he didn't have the best of games really, right? But he come up trumps and saved a penalty from Di Withers, and then we won it on penalties. Yeah, for one of the best parties I've ever been to in my life, I think.
Well, I bet it was.
Oh yeah.
In Cardiff.
Yeah, but most of the fans are the night before. we stayed the night before the committee and stuff. It was like, but going back to the village, and the next day we went back in the bus. Like it was another party again.
Quality.
It was and it was. I never forget, because I had not a chance. First of all, 37 days after the cup final was the 37th day was that nobody said anything to me about the Welsh Cup. It took 37 days. Somebody said something to me about Llansantffraid winning the cup for a month and a half after.
Really?
Yeah, honestly.
From people from Aber? Or?
Yeah, people from Aber, yeah.
No way.
Well, people, wherever you went. Like,
Is that because of what happened before you went to that team?
No. I think it was just it was a big story, because Barry were a big club, like.
Yeah.
So for us to beat them. Little things. When we were coming, they were coming down the stairs as we were going up the stairs to get the cup, and their manager Gary Barnett, he was a really nice bloke. He shook everybody's hand.
Well, that's good.
Yep.
A bit of class, like, isn't it? So yeah, it was interesting. Yeah.
Didn't another team try and sign you from that one?
I had an offer to go to Korea.
What happened?
Managing in Korea.
No player.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Player.
What happened?
I had an email or something, or a fax at the time, asking me, offering me a flat and all this, and it was like, I don't know if it was a joke or not, but anyway, it was a good story.
They checked your age, didn't they?
They checked my age, and I thought, I was a bit too old. I was
13. This is South Korea. I imagine it's South Korea.
38, so,
yeah, pushing it a little bit.
Bloody hell.
Can we go back for just a second to when your time ended managing in Aberystwyth? Was there any sort of like hard feelings when you left Aber, when you were managing? Do you know what I mean?
Not really, to be honest, because it happened so quick. It was like over and done with. I was straight into Llansantffraid, and you just move on.
Yeah.
But
like, because you said you kind of you like proving people wrong, so I just read into it thinking like, do you know what I mean? So you leave there, and then you obviously want to put in a good performance wherever you go.
Yeah.
But I wonder if there was a little extra something on it when you went.
But I guess every time we played against Aber.
Yeah.
That was, and even more so probably when I was managing other clubs.
Yeah.
I had a really interesting time with the lads from Welsh Ball. When we played Aber, he was got a bit feisty a few times, like.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, again, I had some really good lads at Welsh Ball, like, and I had some really good players. All the clubs I've been to, you know, as manager and stuff, you know.
But you went back to Aber as well, didn't you?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that was
Afterwards, years later.
Yeah.
But what happened, I was, after Llansantffraid, I had a season, I'd been doing a bit of media work, so I had a job with Radio Cymru and stuff. That's why I went to Goodison Park and places like that.
Yeah.
And I was a little bored with that. I want to get back into it, really. And then I played a few games for Ryder, helped them stay up, only sort of playing a couple of midweek games and stuff. And then they said, do you want to be a manager? So I took the job of managing Ryder.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I was really fortunate. It's like your black book and who's your friends. So I knew Andy Cale. So Cale gave me about 3 or 4 players from Shropshire College. And yeah, we had a decent side like at Ryder, and we'd been doing well. So we beat Carmarthen 1-0 at Ryder. Going to the bar, and the chairman of Carmarthen comes up to me and goes, "Do you want a job as manager of Carmarthen?" So I said to him, "Oh, give me a ring, or come and see me." So he came up to see me, and yeah, you know, and I went, you know, I went there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was, you know, Carmarthen were a big club.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I had 6 years there, fantastic. Like, you know what I mean. First game I was in charge, we'd have been gone bottom of the league. Funny enough, we were playing Ballytown and we beat them 2-1, and so that was a good start. And then we started climbing, and yeah, got them into Europe. It was really fun time, great times. You know what I mean?
I bet. Yeah.
It was. You can't beat that. So
no, I can imagine. Do you miss that? Do you miss that side of things, like the winning streaks?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
I'm missing it less and less now, because it's changed so much.
Yeah.
You know, mobile phones, and people now stab you in the back by saying things on social media and stuff, and they can't back it up. I used to, you know, you I know managers now who send text messages and said, "You're not playing."
Oh, you mean because it's easier than doing it face to face with someone? Crazy.
It's easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, in life, you think about it. You would have a job or some people, they go, "Oh, actually, you're not playing.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the team Saturday."
Or you put it in like a WhatsApp group. This is the team, and then people reading it, and then like, oh,
yeah. You know, that's the worst thing. You're telling people, "Listen, you're not playing Saturday. You're not playing the final." You find I used to find that tough.
I bet it was.
It's mentally. It's you know. It takes up a lot of your time. How are you gonna do it? You know, what are you gonna say to him? Well, you know, and sometimes it's nothing. I think players think it's personal, but it's never personal.
Of course not. No.
It was just
it's just a business decision, isn't it? A football decision. But
you win. You can win or lose by you know sometimes. And players did. You know, they'd train. Oh, you know, am I playing? Like, you know, I said, I don't know. I haven't made my mind up yet.
No.
So
it's your job to get results.
Yeah.
Isn't it? That's your job. Do you find it stressful at times, no matter who you were managing?
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah, I can imagine it being stressful.
Yeah, it was tough. And people tend to forget as well, you know, I had a full-time, all this time I was full-time work.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And also everybody thinks they can do a better job than you.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like managing footballs. I don't know. I know it happens to MPs and other people as well, but I think football manager is a big one where everyone seems to think that, you know, why didn't you put him on? Why did you substitute him at that time?
Oh,
everybody just seems to think they can do better.
I guess in a small town as well, doesn't matter where you go in a coffee shop, someone's going to say, "Oh, why didn't you put on whatever on Saturday? He could have done this, he could have done that."
Or positions that they're playing in, why are you playing him in this position?
Yeah. What I find easier though, when you manage a team from away, I used to have 2 questions when I came back to Aber. How'd you get on? And probably who scored? That was about it. Because when you manage over Aberystwyth, I used to get it 24/7. People would be on to you. But it was quite leaving, sort of going from Carmarthen or home from Ryder, it was like you're away from it. You can chill a bit. Because you know you're not going to have any questions. You know, the questions have been in your head. Thinking, shit, why did I do that today? Why didn't I pull him off before? You know, why didn't I pick him? Why didn't I play a different formation? Just loads of things you go through a process. You think, right, you know, and I probably used to pick my side for the next game virtually straight away on a Saturday night.
Really? You knew
I'd made my mind he wasn't poor today, so maybe.
Oh, you mean on the day that they were playing, but just later on that night?
Yeah. You drive home,
Yeah.
so most of the time I'd be on my own, driving back from places. So yeah, it was.
We talked about recently like how the game's so different nowadays, right? And it is, isn't it? It's so different. But when I first got into football and things like that, so I'm talking about, it was 80s, I suppose, so 80s and 90s. It wasn't just in football; it was in other sports as well. But it seemed like people would go out the night before, have a skinful. I mean, like quite good standard of football. Like I was a big Arsenal fan. I remember Paul Merson. Paul Merson's the one that comes to mind, and they'd go out and get basically leathered, and then like play pretty good the next day. Like, did any of your players when you were managing or yourself, did you have some good sessions before you went on the football pitch?
I personally, I never used to drink before a game.
Oh, before it, yeah.
No,
okay,
hardly ever.
Yeah,
but I've come across, I mean, footballers in general, okay, not anymore, but back 20, 30 years ago,
yeah,
they could drink for.
Oh yeah,
they could drink for other countries, like something
yeah.
like that. I mean, I wouldn't name them, but I mean, I used to do coaching, go on these coaching courses to get your B license, your A license, and your pro license, etc. And you come across a lot of ex-pros and stuff, and it's
eye-opener.
Well, yeah, not so much. The thing is, I used to look at them. They're just human beings like us three here.
Yeah.
They're no different.
Of course not.
Yeah.
But people build them up to be, But once you treat them on the same level, they're fine. Like I got no issues with any of the people I've met. For me, there's no big time Charlies. It was like most of them all of them I come across.
That's good.
Used to come out for drink. I mean, I got quite friendly with Gary Speed when I was with him for a year doing my pro license. He was like great guy.
Yeah.
Darren Ferguson, his dad we used to do the course, and every Sunday morning about 10 o'clock we'd have a tea break, and he'd phone his dad.
Wow.
And his dad would ask to speak to other people in the room.
Did you speak to him?
I didn't speak. No, he obviously died.
Yeah.
But he obviously knew some of the other people on the course, and you could see Darren giving him. And Darren. He's managed. He asked me just a favour. Can I got to go early. He said, "Can I do my presentation before you?" Yeah, fine. He was just simple. They're just the same as
of course.
Same as us.
It's like mutual respect, isn't it?
Yeah.
You all love football. That's the bottom line, isn't it?
Yeah, and I was managed Porthmadog when they were doing that, because Welsh paid for my pro license, and then obviously I was manager of Porthmadog then because they sacked me. Yeah, so it's quite interesting, and they tried to get the money back, but it was too late.
Too late.
But it was and I think I'm going to go renew my pro license this year again.
Are you?
For one last time, yeah.
All right, here's a question then. If someone came calling to get you back into management, if you've got your pro license, because you need a pro license in the
Welsh Prem, yeah.
What would you say?
I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it for my own self-belief, my own... Because if I'm doing Scorio, I've been doing it for a number of years, then obviously I've got the credentials that a lot of the managers in the league want. So yeah, that's the only reason I'm doing it. I'm not doing it for going back into management, because I don't like seeing managers getting sacked to start with, because it's horrible, and half the time they're used as scapegoats, and chairmen try to be managers or want to be managers but haven't got the guts to do it. So yeah, I just find it very interesting. I mean, Postecoglou now, I'm a Spurs fan, we're playing in the final. He's going to go probably.
That's crazy, isn't it? Because I think he's potentially going to win a final.
Yeah.
And he's going to get sacked.
Yeah.
It's so cutthroat,
crazy,
isn't it?
Yeah.
All levels of football, and then particularly so at the top.
But it's results driven, isn't it?
You're an Arsenal fan.
Yeah.
They're calling for, the thing is, look at that. You've had golden time, really. Arteta's
second as well.
Second, but but Merson says by Christmas,
I know
you should be sacked if you don't.
I know.
You're thinking, come on now.
I know. But how would you even sort of get your ideas or anything across as a manager in like 6 months? It takes years, surely.
It takes, It takes a while. I think the problem, both the managers who are in that final, is they've been a bit stubborn.
Right.
And just changed now, and Carmarthen has changed at United. You know, we're going to play 3-4-3. This system, we're going to play a high line. Flipping heck, I mean, let's be honest. When we played the high line, we get done with balls at the top all the time. So you can't just, in management these days, I think he's learnt, whether it's too late, maybe Mr. Levy has made his mind up, but half the time they have, the chairman have made their mind up. They want somebody else in, because that's what happens, isn't it? The chairman comes up to you and says, "Yo, do you want a job?"
Yeah.
It's ruthless.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, seriously.
So it's money.
And it's no different.
Level, isn't it?
Oh, at that
Huge
level
money at that level.
Yeah.
Do you think they get paid too much at that level?
Who are you on about, the players or the managers?
Premiership players.
Yeah, our players is astronomical, some of them.
Yeah, but then you compare that to American football.
Yeah.
NBA.
But I'm sort of arguing myself here, but then you look at like actors as well, how much they get paid.
Yeah.
It's mental money at the top level in whatever you're doing, isn't it?
I guess they sometimes work off a percentage of the revenue. I can't remember what it is in some things, but say like American football you mentioned, and I think it's they try and earn like a certain percentage of what the whole revenue is and what it all makes. So shirts, ticket sales, TV deals, it goes on and on.
Yeah.
And the players are hopefully making a percentage of that.
Yeah.
I mean, the money's just. I guess the money's crazy in football in general, particularly at the top. It's just.
Oh God, yeah. How much is who's the highest paid? Haaland, is it? Would you say?
Probably, yeah.
What, 350k a week, is it?
Yeah.
Mbappe, I mean, surely he's got to be on crazy money. Mbappe.
Well, Ronaldo's still on massive money.
Oh yeah, of course he is.
Saudi.
And he's like 40. Is he 40?
He's going to be 40 soon, I think, isn't he?
Yeah.
Wow.
Think how much money he's made. Incredible player. Don't get me wrong. Like
He's
incredible.
Who's one of your favourite players from past or present? Who did you maybe look up to when you were younger?
Well, being a Spurs fan,
favourite Spurs.
Probably favourite ever Spurs player would be Steve Perryman.
Steve Perryman.
Yeah.
Okay.
What
era was that?
What era? Yeah, because that doesn't really.
Well, he played 700 games for Spurs.
Was his heyday in the 70s or 80s?
I think when we won the UEFA Cup that year, he was playing. I think.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I remember. Yeah, I remember some.
Yeah, he was. I used to live. Chivers and Gilzine. We cited but it's favourite players. Yeah.
Well, what about the best player that you've shared the pitch with? And it doesn't have to be for the team that you were playing. It could be the team you were playing against. So like probably the best person that you've shared the pitch with. Who would you say?
Well, we were really fortunate. Okay. So back in the day, Chelsea used to come here. First of all, it started with Wrexham. They used to come to Aber because John Neal was manager. Happy was quite big friends with John Neal.
Yeah.
He went on a lot of the European games with John. So they bought teams down here. So we used to play Wrexham, and then John Neal went to Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
So we played Middlesbrough, and I was playing the wing, and I was getting marked by Terry Cooper.
Terry Cooper
of Leeds, isn't it?
I know. Right? Yeah.
Stuart Bowman centre half, I think, and Graham Souness was centre midfield.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So and then Chelsea came. Before Chelsea came, actually, another Scottish team came down here, and Pat Nevin was playing for them. Now, I'll tell you one thing: what a player he was.
Yeah.
We played him down Blind Dolly, Chelsea, 1 year.
No way.
He picked the ball up in his own half, in the edge of the box, and just scored. Wow. He was
like too easy.
Oh, he was class. He was, yeah. And I listen to him now on Radio 5.
Okay, yeah.
He's really good pundit as well.
Yeah.
And he was on the Everton because he played for Everton, and he was talking about the times of Goodison and stuff. So yeah, I mean, those. Yeah, I used to love. Not just individuals. I think individuals are great, aren't they? But you have to have a team, and if you haven't got a team, you're not. You
need people defence, assisting.
Yeah,
it goes on and on. Another one of my questions, Tommy, was it can be from any era, I suppose. But who did you absolutely hate marking you? Who did you think when you rock up on a Saturday morning and you think, you're gonna absolutely terrorise me today?
Well, I tell you one thing. I played against Welsh were a really good side when I was a youngster. They used to win everything. Like, and they had some class players, and his centre half was got a lad called Derek Lockyer. And I never looking against them, right? I mean, I didn't have a kick.
No.
I think I gave him a bit of verbal.
That's all I gave.
But, no, no, he wasn't like me. Actually, I wasn't like that. But he came up to me, and he at the end of the game, he goes, "Come here, son." He goes to me, and I was only about 18 at the time. And he said to me, "Right, shut up, concentrate on your football, and you'll make a good player one day, mate." He goes to me.
At least he gave you something
good.
positive.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
After being an absolute nightmare.
Well, he didn't. You know,
you know?
Yeah, but it's there's you come across. It's not always. How can I put it? In teams, there's players. Some of the teams I've had that you'd have thought like overweight, sort of midfield players, and you're thinking, what is he doing? But they say I name a couple now. Dean Rossiter, I had him at Carmarthen, and he was a chubby midfield player, right? But he'd run through a wall for you. He's good, and he was a good player as well. Like, and he'd listen to you. You know, tactically, he'd go, "Yeah, fine, I do that." Mm-hmm. I had a couple like Kerry James. He came play for Welsh Cup. Again, looked overweight, and he says, "Who's the fat guy you got in midfield then?" And you won't mind me saying this because right. Then they go to me, "He's a good player, isn't he?" You know, it's so deceptive sometimes. You think, "Oh, look, he's you know what I mean." You remember Jan Molby then?
I remember Jan Molby.
Holding Liverpool. Yeah. You know, he looked overweight, but he's a hell of a player. Like, do you know what I mean?
Read the game. That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I remember Trundle as well in his like maybe later years. Trundle was like a bigger guy as well. What was he? But yeah,
but had the skill.
Oh, he was a class player, yeah.
Yeah, Trundle's good.
He was playing the final here the other week for Trevelyan against
Lee
Airbus.
Trundle was?
Yeah.
No way.
He's signed for Trevelyan again next season.
How old is Lee Trundle now?
90.
He's got to be like...
No, he's mid-40s, is he?
He's mid-40s, yeah.
Still raised to us, but he's probably a few years older.
I just remember when he was playing for Swansea.
He signed for Wrexham initially.
Did he?
Yeah.
How long ago? What, before Swansea?
Well, when I was manager of Carmarthen the first time, so it must have been 26 years ago, something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And Neil O'Brien marked him that day, and we beat Hrill 3-0. And I remember we played Wrexham a few weeks later in a cup game, and I said to Brian Flynn, I said, "You want to have a look at that Lee Trundle?" I said to him, he's quality.
Flipping
it. Oh, yeah. He's a hell of a player.
No, he was brilliant.
He was a hell of a player.
Yeah, fair play.
To be fair.
Yeah.
What is your proudest sporting moment within football? It can be managing, it can be playing, it can be maybe when you play for Wales semi-professional. What would you say?
We were playing Cwmbran in a semi-final of the Intermediate Cup down in Brecon on a Saturday, and the week before they would let me get in the club. You know, the disco on Saturday night, and I was hellish annoyed. Like,
really want to go.
So I think, right. So it was like on the Saturday. Then we were playing Cwmbran, who were unbeaten, the top league, hot favourites to beat us. We beat them 6-2. Managed to notch 4 goals.
Nice.
Kev got the other 2. Like, I was like dead chuffed with that. So on the following Tuesday, well, the next day, we had to go to, me and Dave Humphreys had to go to the Welsh squad. We were playing England at Merthyr on the Tuesday night. So scoring 4 on the Saturday put me, I thought, in a good chance to get in the team, the Welsh team against England. So I was like pleased with that. So we had a few bevies on the Saturday night. We went down on Sunday. Shared a room with Dave, who's sadly not with us anymore. So then we played England, and Irish, a really good side, like, you know, lads from Altrincham were doing really well in the FA Cup and stuff. Johnny Davison, who's a left back, he was a good player. Like, they had 2 strikers from Kidderminster who scored about 70 goals between them. And we beat them anyway. You know, we beat them 3-1, and I scored probably the best goal I ever scored in my life.
Really?
Yeah.
What was it?
It was just a volley. I just cut in on the left hand side. The ball stood up quite nice, and I volleyed. I couldn't see it going in that top corner. I was actually to Max in top bin, like, right in the top bin. Like. And I was turning. like every player was running towards me from Wales. It was like, it was a brilliant feeling, like, and I just beating them like 3-1. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
That was pretty much up there as well.
Do you know
And
when you
also your favourite goal encapsulated in it as well, you know.
Yeah, well, I think Denise and my sister and my mum were at the game as well.
Oh,
perfect.
yeah.
So it was, it was.
Do you know as soon as that ball left your foot, he was like, "That's going
Well,
in."
I knew it was in.
You know when it connects well. Not that I've been any good at football, but you know when you connect
I scored
well,
a few volleys back when I was about 14. Not many.
We went to Centre of Excellence. I'm not sure I was good enough to go to Centre of Excellence. I had no idea when they picked
Just
me.
reminded me, you took a training session of ours one night.
Did you?
And, no, Tommy did. And I think we're probably about maybe 12 or 13. We were probably on the same pitch.
Yeah, we were.
And it was bloody tough. I remember it. Because it was before we'd sort of just be passing and drilling and all that sort of thing. But I remember you relied quite heavily on fitness.
I think
And it was hard.
Hang on.
But I enjoyed it, but it was hard. I remember it being hard. I always remember it.
Was Terry Orth there?
It would have been Mike Smith, probably, would it? Mike
Terry,
Smith?
I mean,
Because
I
Terry
remember,
Orth trained us for not long, but down Blind Dolly, and then we went to. Do you remember when we went to Villa Park as well? And, we did like drills on Villa Park.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Got a
long time
But
ago.
sorry, yeah. Did you train us in Centres of Excellence for,
Yeah, he did.
for a bit?
I might have. I mean, I remember Terry Orth coming to Abbott. He took a training session for me.
Did he?
For the
Yeah,
Abbott
'cause
team.
I remember
Yeah.
playing a couple. It was just drills and stuff, and then both thinking, "Oh, cool, Terry Orth." You know, I remember that at the time.
He was, again, pretty down to earth person. No airs and graces about him. Like,
No.
How many goals did you score in your career, including the hat trick in 2022?
oh,
Does that count?
Dave, I honestly, I'm not a big man for stats, right?
Okay, fine.
Okay, so I just checked before I came because I thought
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't ask me this stupid question. So
Yeah.
I played 543 games for Aber, and I scored 368 goals.
That's a pretty good percentage. I'll give you that. It's a pretty good percentage.
Yeah.
That.
So I know I had probably, in the 2 seasons I was at Newtown, I probably nearly scored 90, or 90-ish for them. I've scored a few goals for Carmarthen, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't think it's about the goals really, to be honest. Anyway, I don't. It's it was just. It's just when you look and thinking, you look at the names,
Yeah.
you're right up there.
Yeah.
Thinking, I've done that.
Done all right there.
It's okay. You know what I mean? It's not about being. Oh, I don't want to be top.
No.
So like being, like I think I just like Ken played 642 games for Aber. Di Whitney's 546, 64.
Yeah.
So I did 543. Blair and Pew Jones are behind me on 650 and stuff.
It's a lot of games, isn't it?
Oh, so it's a
Huge amount of games.
Incredible amount of games.
Yeah.
So
you know what I
can
mean? Yeah.
we talk about this hat trick then? How did you end up going on? Tell us about it.
Why is this hat trick? I mean, I scored so many more hat tricks than this. But
Yeah, I know.
This is the one that. Well, I tell you what,
exactly. All of them.
Yeah,
later on in your career.
Yes, yeah. It was just circumstances. So we were playing at Welshpool reserves. We were going by train.
Yeah.
It's going to have a bit of a day out, isn't it?
Pen Park is, isn't
It's
it?
a Pen Park,
Yes.
yes. So it was a day out, isn't it? So
Yes.
fine. And again, we were struggling for numbers. I was running the line first half. We had no subs. Well, I was the only name sub. So you don't think anyway. They were pretty poor side Welshpool reserves.
Yeah.
So it's about 4 or 5-0 at half time. The keeper decides that he doesn't want to play second half. So Mark goes, you go in goal. I'll go left back. Tom, you go up front. So it was Dan Pritchard who was the keeper.
Yeah.
Right. So he tells me sometimes, I say to him, you owe me one for that hat trick. Yeah. But now you've got to imagine, right? So most of the lads that played for Pembark, had never seen me play and would never know. I used to tell them in training, hey, look, I used to bag a few goals and they used to look at me thinking, you're lying.
Yeah.
So when I scored the first, I could see that they were like, yeah. And then it's 2. I missed a couple of sitters as well.
Oh.
And, the third, it was like, And then that's the difference now. After the game, Mickey Gorman goes, he puts the ball in my hand, takes a picture, puts it on social media.
Yeah.
And then I go to the pub. We go to the pub for a drink. And these lads from Caesar's come in here. You go, hell, Tom, you scored a hat-trick today. They knew, because these days there were the Cymru...
instant. Yes.
Cymru app.
The app, yes.
Yeah. They got the scorers there.
Yeah.
You're thinking, this news is like more people knew about it than knew about I'd scored 4 for Aber 30 years ago.
Oh, exactly. It's instant though, isn't it?
You're saying,
That's the problem.
It was mad, isn't it?
Sometimes it's positive though, isn't it? You could have had like some like good stuff over the years as well. Obviously, like I'm really glad that we didn't have social media back in the day.
God.
Like really, really happy about it actually. But then like that is
I'm ecstatic.
but that is somewhat positive though, isn't it? That it can make some like some news outlets, some media outlets like it's great, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Should we
Yeah, I'm happy to roll on to quick fires if you want
we
to.
usually just end up with a few quick fire questions, Tom.
Nice easy ones.
Just nice easy ones, just to sort of level out a little bit.
Yeah.
Have you got a favourite film? Or what are you watching that you really liked recently or something like that?
Oh, my favourite films are Shawshank Redemption.
Monster. That's a heck of a film.
I read that recently, you know.
Do you know it?
Amazing.
I say it every time. I think we've had this in a couple of times, but when it came out in the cinema, it didn't do very well initially.
Yeah, it was a flop.
It failed.
Yeah.
And then re-released it like 2 or 3 years later, and it went.
Yeah.
Bang,
Get
heck
busy
of a film.
living or get busy dying.
That's it.
That's the one.
That's my favourite.
Brilliant.
It's great. Yeah, it is.
Hell of a saying.
Andy Dufresne.
Andy Dufresne.
Andy Dufresne,
Behind his poster in the wall.
Yeah, heck of a film.
Oh, amazing.
Yep.
Favourite cereal? Could be from your childhood, could be right now.
Rice Krispies.
Classic choice.
Yeah, good.
It's a classic choice.
Not allowed to eat them anymore. Like, sweet the mix now. Like, my Rice
For the old
Krispies.
ticker.
I know you like a biscuit now and again, Tom. So what's your favourite biscuit?
Biscuit.
Probably chocolate digestives would be my favourite.
It was absolutely amazing,
Any
right?
biscuits, I know.
In Marks and Spencer, I bought them. You know, you get those nice biscuits, right? They just say nice on it. They got chocolate ones in Marks and Spencer's. Oh my god,
Unbelievable.
so good,
Unbelievable.
so good. Favorite music or band or album? Any sort of any music, really?
What's that superstar in America who's been going for years?
What's his name? I know you're thinking of Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, that's the boy.
The Boss.
Bruce, yeah.
The Boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Bruce.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
I think we're done, Tom.
Yeah,
You happy with that?
if you're happy with that.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah.
No problem.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Cheers.
Cheers.